in. Welcome everyone to the Aries full moon ceremony. I looked out the window the other day. I don't know if you've been watching, if you've been able to see the moon at night, but oh my goodness, is she beautiful. And it was like, oh my goodness, we got to do a ceremony. I did the equinox and I totally just was going to skip it. Did not even think. All right, let's do this. Let's call in sacred space. Let's all take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to drop those grounding cords, send our roots down into the earth. And then inhale, draw that earth energy up through your body. Your body is a conduit for life force and spiritual information. So draw that energy up through that center line. And then inhale again. Draw that cosmic energy back down through your body. Send it all the way down into the earth, activating that as above, so below flow. Practice feeling that. Then connect with that flow. Breathing in and breathing out, activate the as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give thanks to be here in a physical body right now. Moving to the south, we welcome water. We welcome clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love and joy, abundance and flow into our circle. Moving to the west, we welcome air and mind, focus and clarity. All of our guides, angels, and allies. And moving to the east, we welcome fire, movement, passion. Excuse me, divine right action. Moving to the center, we call in the divine feminine and the divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies, and we call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. We welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into this circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, dance with us for our mutual benefit. Oh, yes, the moon has been quite beautiful. All right, we're going to dance. I'm going to mute everyone, so just in case you're not muted. But we're going to move our bodies and activate all of those things we just woke up. Here we go. righty. Let's get this party started. So it's anybody's guess how you're feeling right now. We can be right now, and we're going to talk about why, but right now you can be really, really up. You can be down in the basement. You can be anywhere in between, and you can feel like you're being batted back and forth like a ping pong ball. So just take a minute and just breathe. Just close your eyes and drop in. And, for just a tiny little minute on the weekend, let yourself just be in your body. And just ask your body how she's doing. How's she feeling? How's she faring in all the changes that are happening on the planet? These changes are exciting. I think sometimes we have a tendency to look at any kind of bump in the road and feel like, oh my goodness, the sky is falling. But in truth, all of this, number one, we plan to be here right now. We were lucky enough to get a ticket, and we have a front row seat to the biggest transformation that has ever happened on this planet that we know of. There probably have been some that we don't know of. But for right now, being where we are is the perfect place to be. So even with all of the bumps and crazy that may feel like things are happening like that out there, we're going to be okay. And we're going to talk about why. So we have right now, and she's been beautiful, a full moon in Aries. So this happened actually last night, not the night we slept, but the night before. So it was like in the middle of the night. So 5:58 a.m. For some people, that's the middle of the night. I guess it's really the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So for those of us that are moving across to the other side of the world, it was a little earlier. Anyway, with the sun in Libra, which is all about partnership and playing nice with everybody, and then the moon in Aries, and my moon that I was born under an Aries moon. You have this agitation, especially if you have any Aries in your chart. You got to do something. My daughter, I went over to help her clean her house today, and she kicked me out. She said, Mom, you're too intense. You're going to want to go way faster than I want to go. Just go home. And that is true. That Aries moon can make you feel that way. And you want to try to lean on the Libra piece so that you can calm yourself down enough to let that blend actually accomplish something, because it can be very beautiful and fluid what you can do. So Libra is ruled by Venus, and talks about, she helps us open our hearts. Aries is ruled by Mars and is focused on individuality and leadership and taking risks. And it's also ruled by fire. So it can consume any obstacle in its path. So when Aries moon, full moon is up, it's like you just want to go, or at least I do. And it will cause you to either stand in your power and be a really potent warrior, pioneer, initiator, entrepreneur, or it can also cause you to just burn down the house and, make a mess. So, like I said, you have to find a balance in here. And the way to do that is in your relationships, because that's what Libra is all about. So pay attention. This is where it's going to want, like, for instance, today, I stayed and helped her do what I could do, and then I left. I and she's probably having a great time doing it her way without me charging in like a bull in a china shop. So you can utilize both of these skills. You can utilize that warrior-S energy to move things forward where they need to move forward. And you can also use the Libra to soften yourself and find a balance in there. You know, the other challenge of this is that Libra is air. It's an air sign. What does air do to fire? It makes it bigger. So it's like you're going to have to really finesse your way through this one. But you can, and you can use this time to do inner work, to work on yourself, to release all, because this is a full moon. So this is all about release. Release those things that are causing you fear and regret and guilt and shame. Those are just holding you back. Yeah, me too, Val. I need a lot of softening. So let Aries point out, you know, let him direct the traffic, and then lean on Libra to gently guide you in that right direction, softly. The most important aspect of this moon is Venus and Juno. So all about the partnerships. So if I had gotten, you know, upset, I was actually happy that I got to come home. If I'd have gotten upset with my daughter because, you know, I changed all my plans to go help her and then it didn't work out. It was the potential for lots of chaos and bad things to happen. Or you can just have a small conversation, work things out, and move on. And that's the focus right now. So what's going on is it's like the big final push. We're going to talk about those in just a minute. So all these other little planets, it's like most of these are hard aspects. So this one is going to feel like boom, boom, you know, like we're getting pushed around a little bit. But if we know, okay, this is all about being compassionate, being in integrity with ourselves and with our people, with our partners, whoever we're partnering with, and being generous, you know, really being gracious and extending grace as much as we want to receive grace. When we begin to operate from that agenda, then we can shift our relationships. When we shift our relationships on this planet, not just that we start with the close-in ones, the ones that we can manage, but think of this. If we got used to doing this, think of what could change on this planet. I watched this movie the other night. I think it's called This Is Christmas. And I think it's on Netflix, but it's the story of this guy that it took place in Europe, I believe England, London, maybe. And they ride trains everywhere they go. And so all these people are on the train and they know each other, or they see each other every day, but they never talk to each other. And he just gets this idea that he's going to throw a party just for the people on the train in his car. And it's just the story of how all these people are living these isolated lives, you know, just totally doing their thing. And, you know, there's some very tragic and poignant things that are going on and how they all start to help each other. It is the most feel-good movie ever. So if you get a chance, you should look it up and watch it. But that epitomizes how we can use this moon right now. It's like he had to take initiative. So he needed that Aries, but he also had to really rely on that Libra partnership to pull the thing together. And of course, there's a love interest, there's all kinds of things that happen in the movie. But the point is, that's how we change, how we fix the things we came here to fix. So here's other things that are going on. And this is the Uranus piece. It challenges you to be true to yourself. So it is literally semi-squaring the moon and Aries moon. So, and even though it's only happening today or the other day, it's like it's going to go on. The influence of this is going to go on for at least 2 weeks. So, serve others using your own special gifts, the ones you love to use, not the ones people want you to use, but the ones you love to use and give. That's one way to be authentic. Another way is to give what you want to give, not what's expected. It's like, yes, absolutely, Val. That's it. I think, at any rate, another way to be in integrity with yourself, to be authentic to yourself, is to have strong boundaries. Know what you need and what you want and what you're willing to give and what you're not. Have hard yeses and hard nos so that you can honor yourself. If you honor yourself, you're not going to get grouchy. And if you're not grouchy, then it's easier to get along with people. And that's what this moon is about. It's also squaring Vesta. So think about home and hearth. That's what Vesta is about. And she's also about selfless service. So there's probably places where you're going to be asked or desire to serve. Go ahead and do that. Just make sure you're giving what you want to give and your best gift, whatever that is. There may be other things that you can do, but giving the things that you're best at is going to get the most mileage, the most bang for your buck. Okay. The moon also is in opposition to Pallas Athena. So, are you being assertive? Here comes that Aries warrior piece. Are you working smart? Are you being strategic? Are you achieving your goals with a win-win approach like diplomacy and mediation and negotiation? So this is where Aries can support you here. These are the kinds of things that Aries is good at. So give Aries a job and let him just do his thing. And then he won't burn down the house. And then finally, the moon is hanging out with Ceres. So shadow work. This is going to push up. We've been in this process, and I know people are getting tired of this process, but that's why we came. We came here to learn. We came here to, okay, I made those choices back there. That didn't seem to work out. Maybe we need to try this instead. And so when those things don't work out, or when we have trauma for whatever reason, we need to have an effective way to move them out, to move the traumas out. Made for Miracles is on my website. It's a really good way, but there's lots of other ways. Tapping, and Made for Miracles includes tapping. That's the EFT technique, emotional freedom technique. Ho'oponopono, forgiveness. Find ways to go inside and nurture your inner child and heal yourself. Because if you haven't noticed yet, it is getting increasingly more difficult to carry stuff around, to carry old baggage. It's like you're not going to be able to haul that with you. It's not even going to be functional in the world where we're going. So let it all go so we can play nice together and learn what we came here to learn. And then make the changes that we came here to make. So things that you want to be questioning, thinking about, because this is really potent. Back in the equinox ceremony, and it's on the YouTube page. You can always go back and watch any of these on the YouTube page. We talked about how everything is gearing up. We've been in this push to release all of the old that is no longer serving us, so that we have a clean slate and can begin fresh, begin anew. And we're right here at this 3-month window where we can finish 2023 really well, so that we can get that. So that we can move into 2024 in a very, very powerful way. And this moon is supporting that. It's like we had all of that feel good energy at the equinox, and now, Aries is here. Roll up the sleeves. Let's get busy. Let's get planning. So you want to be looking really closely at any baggage you're carrying, anything that is, and that may come in the form of relationships. Am I in a toxic relationship? What are the aspects of that relationship that need to be healed? Aspects in myself, aspects in the relationship. What relationships need to be released? Are you carrying too much? Is there too much baggage? And do you just need to let it go? And the way to know, a lot of times, you can muscle test, you can use a pendulum, but sometimes I just like to lean in and just feel. How would I feel if I let that relationship go? And how would I feel if I didn't? And feel into both and see which feels better. What belief systems do you need to release, especially around your wealth? So there's a lot of, Venus is all about wealth, so is Libra. There are a lot of aspects of this moon cycle that you can move forward in tremendous ways. So look for belief systems that aren't serving you anymore. Where am I still harboring shame or guilt? And then once you've cleared the decks, this is a good time to dream. What are the new creations that want to come through me? What does creatrix want to bring into this planet, literally through my physical body? How is that going to happen? So now is the time to plant those seeds. I've been reading an alchemy book this week, and one of the things she talks about is that our core, the core of our being, doesn't care anything about stuff. It doesn't care about the bottom line. It doesn't care about how many Facebook followers you have. The core of your being cares about feeling. How does it want to feel? We chase the things because we think the things are going to make us feel a certain way. Peace. Many of us that are entrepreneurs dream of a time when we could just relax and not think about What's the next thing that I'm going to do? What's the next thing that needs to be done? And so I've been playing around, and this is the perfect time to play around with thoughts like that. How am I enchanting my life? How am I informing my life by the thoughts that I think and the words that I say and the beliefs that I hold around stuff, money? I can't feel loved until I have that person in my life loving me like I think I need to be loved. I can't feel wealthy until I have this amount of money in the bank. You see how like faulty that is. Rather than chase the things, because that's what we do, we think that we need the things to make us have the feeling. Just chase the feeling. Just intend to be that, to know that, to feel that. So ask yourself as you're journaling today, what do I want to feel in 2024? How do I want this planet to feel in 2024? What is in my way of feeling that? So give yourself a little time to answer those questions. And then we're going to go to the cards. All right, let's look here. See what we pulled for this time. So these are perfect. They're pretty practical this time. Ethics. When we're looking at all of these things, it pays to be ethical. Ethics are defined as moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. They have more to do with moral principles, fairness, justice, equity, honor, decency, integrity, and trustworthiness. When working with the element of earth, this principle is expanded to include all of creation, every sentient being, including the planet herself. So, drawing this card can indicate a time for a journey inward. Are there places where your behavior has been unethical? Is there a place where you need to get clear on where you stand on an issue? Are you behaving in an equitable way? Are others treating you ethically? What does Earth have to tell you about ethics? You know, I know of no better teacher on ethics than this planet. That's why, I mean, of all of the things we came here to learn, this is the biggest one. All of us need a good dose of this. And she is the best teacher. Because in the physical realm, when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, there are certain laws that have to be followed. And if you aren't ethical, then everything goes away. So, if you're struggling with ethics, go sit on the ground and ask mom to help you, and she will. Do not dismiss those little thoughts that roll through your head when you're sitting mindless under a tree. That's her talking to you. Pay attention. All right, journal with Earth. What does Earth have to tell you about ethics? And then water. With water, I pulled flow. That's a good Libra card. Going with the flow of life allows life to carry you rather than you having to make life happen. Flow is an actual energy that you can call on. I can't even tell you the transformation that happens when you figure this part out. You can literally call on your flow angel and ask her to bring more flow into your life. Activating the energy of flow in your life relieves stress, regulates hormone levels and blood sugar levels, and creates a general state of self-love and well-being. Ask your flow angel to come in and show you where you need more flow in your life and let her bring it to you. We have been working way too hard when all we have to do is just ask for what we want. So ask for this and see what happens. Journal with water. What does she have to tell you about being in the flow? All right. Let's see here. Air. You're so very welcome, Patricia. Intention, or excuse me, intuition. Intuition speaks to that sixth sense of inner or body knowing. Learning to use your intuition requires that you pay attention to the little nudges and hunches that impulse through you. Many times we may go to linear mind and discount our inner wisdom. When we begin to listen and flex this muscle, we get better and better at making wise decisions and avoiding difficulties as a result. The only requirement here is to listen and pay attention. When you get that inner nudge, follow it. So I was reading another book. I think it was The Return of the Bird Tribes. And Ken Carey talks about, he says, if we're miserable, if we're sad, if we feel depressed or overwhelmed, it's because we get guidance 24/7. And we, it comes in and then we put it on the shelf and we go, oh, I need to do that one of these days. Our shelves get really, really full and we never do the thing until every time you walk through the house and you see that thing you need to pick, it drives you nuts. And it is siphoning energy from you. So when you get, it's like, see if you can practice, maybe just for an hour or for, ideally 24 hours, but for at least, start with an afternoon where when you get that intuitive nudge, you don't just go, yeah, I'll do that one of these days. You sit down and do it. You go take the trash out or you go do the thing right when you're impulsed. And the longer you can sustain that, the happier you're going to be. The lighter you're going to feel, the less you're going to be depressed because you're not carrying so much baggage. So, where is your intuition been trying to speak to you? And where do you need to listen? I love it. Thanks, Pam. Yeah, they always kind of do that, don't they? And I don't know that yeah, these cards are great. I'm going to pat them on the back and not diminish that compliment. But a lot of times I don't know that it really matters what deck you use. It's just, especially on ceremony day, they're just spot on. They just are. For those of you that are in CCT, a good intention for this card is following guidance right when it's received and using that in a healing, using that on a chart. That would work wonders to, set the intention and then let your energy rise to meet it. Love it. Pam, um, Pamela's saying that a lot of her intuition comes at 3 a.m. A lot of people call that the bewitching hour. And women used to get up and gather at 4 in the morning. And I find myself getting up early like that a lot of times. And when I'm awakened at that time, if I get up and if I have a journal handy and I just write it down, I can go back to sleep. if I don't, I'll lay there and toss and turn and never really get any rest. So, um, whenever it comes in, if you can just get up and write it down, then you can go back to sleep. I don't know why. I think that's when we're the quietest. I think that's why it happens to come in then. And, we leave our bodies and go and hang out with our higher self. So, if we get out that far and all that information comes in, then we got to take it when we can get it. Okay, fire, movement. The essence of fire is movement. Its superpower is action. Movement is what makes the creation machine work. Movement is what creates energy. Without movement, everything on this planet runs the risk of slipping into entropy and decay. Movement keeps things going. It builds momentum. And, one of my sweet favorite priestess mentors used to always get so frustrated with new agers because they always would wait until they felt like doing something. And she's like, the magic is in the doing. It's like, just take a step. That will give you the momentum to take another step and another step. And she's right. There is an element of healing when you just move. If you can just get out of the entropy and move. So, what does fire want to say to you? Where do you need to move? What needs to move forward? Perfect, Glenn. That's a good example too, because we'll put those things off forever. And then they don't take any time. And then, oh my goodness, the dopamine rush you get when you get it done. And of course, once again, another spot on card, higher self. This is a time when we really need to reach out beyond the astral plane, reach to your higher self, the part of you, that is out there and in here that is akin to prime creator, creatrix that lives inside of you, that highest, best, good part of yourself. Your higher self is the part of you that is always connected to the upper realms and divine energies. It loves you with an unshakable love that never ends because it knows the depths of who you truly are. It works tirelessly to remind you of this, knowing that when you truly remember your divinity, this life won't seem so difficult. Its goal for you is always self-realization, always that remembrance. Even though it loves you deeply, it has very little concern for egoic needs and desires. It's always going to steer you toward the higher path and always meet you with total and unconditional love. So reconnect with your higher self. What does your higher self want you to know right now? And then I pulled a prosperity card for us this time. I don't do it all the time. Always. Um, and this one is forgiving the past, which I thought was pretty perfect. One of the most profound secrets I've learned on my own money journey is how much emotional debris truly blocks money from flowing to you. If you're harboring emotional baggage, whether it's anger and resentment of another or guilt and shame over your own poor choices, it clogs the system. And not only that, it grows and festers, mostly totally under your awareness. There are many simple tools for forgiving the past, and it doesn't have to take a long time. You can develop a routine to do it daily so it doesn't get backed up. This one practice is always my go-to if money gets stuck. Ask yourself right now, who do I need to forgive? You will get an immediate answer. We always do. Maybe yourself, maybe somebody else. Do whatever practice sings to you to move this out of your system. Write them a letter of forgiveness and burn it. Dance, do Ho'oponopono, do EFT, whatever it takes, but move that. This is how, seriously, how I work the dials, work the bells and whistles to keep flow happening. So you have to go in there and look. And a lot of times you're going to be surprised. You're going to think, I'm fine. There's nobody out there. And then you go in and you start looking around and, oh, and you find those pieces. When you find them, don't let them sit. Don't say, I'll do it later. Do it right then, in the moment. Even though I made a bad choice last week and bought that purse that I didn't need, I deeply love and completely accept myself. Whatever it is, move it out of your system, and then watch what happens. So take a minute, journey with your relationship with money. And is there any place you need to forgive? So now set an intention for this full moon. Remember, we have 2 weeks. And as we look forward, and it would be important for you to take this into consideration, October 13th, which is the next time, ceremony time, and we're going to do ceremony. I'm going to start offering a temple time around the new moon. That's going to be the Ring of Fire solar eclipse for 2023. It's going to be able to be seen in the United States for the first time in our lifetime, for sure. So that's a big deal. So as you're setting your intentions, that's going to be on the new moon. So the new moon in October, coming up in 2 weeks. So as you're setting an intention for this full moon, releasing what doesn't serve, supporting your relationships, getting in integrity, be thinking about the future. Be thinking about intentions for 2024. And what seeds do you want to plant? How do you want to go into 2024? Think about that now as you're setting your intention for this moon. Things that are coming up, like I said, October the 12th, which is going to be a Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to just look at different topics, but it's going to be around the new moon every single month, free to everyone. And the first one is going to be a CCT activation. What is CCT? And then we'll just go from there. So that's coming. And then Extraordinary Soul begins October the 13th. So the Friday right after that. This is a really deep, intensive dive into who you are and what you came here to do. You get 2 Akashic record readings. You get one at the beginning and one at the end. You learn how to do the medicine wheel and use it as the spiritual tool and guide it was intended to be used for. And you learn how to make those changes in your life that you need to make. And then we look at your astrology chart. Took me a minute. We look at your astrology chart and oh, Val, yeah. Yeah, I get that. Dang. I will play with that time. So pay attention to your emails and I'll see if I can. It's so difficult to get a time that works for people on both sides of the planet, but we'll volley it back and forth and see what we can find. How does that sound? Okay. Hang on here. Yes, Extraordinary Soul is life-changing. So if you are interested in that, this may be the only time this may be the 2024 class. So just know that. Don't think you can wait around till January and jump in because we ended up having to start early. So if I fill this one, I'm not going to fill another one until 2025. So just know that. All right, everyone, let's get up and move and activate those intentions you just set. Here we go. All right, everyone. You all are so, so welcome. Thank you all for coming. It takes all of us. All right, lovelies. I will see you soon. So good to see all of you. Hang on just a minute. We're going to stop this so you can just see everyone. Look at you. Aren't you beautiful? Sarah, so good to see you. And Leslie, oh my goodness. I need to do this more often.
Would love that.
All right, lovelies. I will see you next time. I will see you on the 12th, and I'll figure out a time. All right, y'all. Bye.